as government and as a country, must do all we can to attract it. That's why we have the efforts that is led by His Excellency the Vice President on the ease of doing business. Because when you make investments easier to come and stay, then investors are able to make investment decisions more quickly. We have provided a lot of incentives in different sectors of the economy. The NIPC, the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council, has a full disclosure of the incentives on a sector-by-sector basis on its website. So apart from those incentives that are provided, when new investors want to come into Nigeria, we are open to sit with them and ask them what they want government to support them to do. So we have some tax holidays that are provided. We have import duty waivers for bringing of equipment for some sectors, and that is to reduce costs. We have incentives that will be given under the new fiscal stimulus. Investors choose to retain staff as opposed to disengaging them. So we need to know what each sector wants. I'll give you an example. The president just gave an approval to grant extensive waivers for the pharmaceutical and the health industry. So if you're bringing in any equipments that will help with upgrading health infrastructure, especially as it relates to COVID-19, or products that are required for health operations, Mr. President has given blanket import duty waivers and an expedite instruction for the customs to expedite clearing so that the goods will be brought in quickly. We provided this so that the pharmaceutical industries will be able to bring in needs for their manufacturing, for drugs that are needed in Nigeria, and also to bring in drugs that we don't even produce here and equipments that we don't have here to help with managing the health crisis. On internally generated revenue, we've taken a number of measures that are contained in the strategic revenue growth initiatives. In addition to that, we've also enhanced the monitoring of the revenue performance of the government-owned enterprises to ensure that what they generate and supposed to remit to the Treasury in terms of operating surplus is actually realized. We have been working with the states under the banner of the National Economic Council. There is a joint committee of the federal government of the state. We've made a joint assessment of the COVID-19 impact for the country, including the states, and also together with the states, we've articulated measures that are required in terms of government actions to support the state. So we're working very closely with the state. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 that is chaired by the Secretary has made a plan and a budget for health intervention. This plan and a budget is a national plan. So they have interventions in every state. For example, in the plan, there is an upgrade of one major hospital, maybe a tertiary hospital or a general hospital in every state of the country, to upgrade the hospital, to fully equip the ICU facilities, and to also build at least one isolation center in every state of the incorporation. We're currently also working with the states. There is a facility that the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and Planning made a request to the World Bank for $100 million that is meant to support the states in this COVID-19 intervention. Mr. President has also approved this 500 billion naira first stimulus package, which is 500 billion naira. Within that provision is some certain amounts that is to be provided for the states to enhance their ability to respond to the health crisis. The Economic Sustainability Committee that has been set up by the President, chaired by the Vice President, has about 7-8 ministers as members. I'm a member of the Minister of State. The Minister of State has earlier on enumerated what that we're doing in the Economic Sustainability Committee. Basically, what we're trying to do is to, first of all, address the impact of the health challenges, support the poor and the vulnerable, support industry affected by the crisis, and also create jobs while we're doing all of this. So the major focus for us is creating jobs and also increasing productivity with the underlying philosophy of strictly going by made in Nigeria. So we have public works project that is designed to use inputs that are Nigerian inputs. We will not be using any imported raw materials in building roads, for example, or in building houses, or in fact in providing the means to increase agricultural productivity. So we're concentrating on import substitution, and as much as possible, unless there's no option, we'll not be using imported materials for this round of work that we're doing. On the issue of the border closure, a very sensitive issue. The president set up a committee that I chair, together with customs, immigration, foreign affairs, and a few others, to review and make an assessment and advise him on when to open the border. So we had like 3 meetings, and we're on the last one to send our advice to the president. We were supposed to hold the last one after making a full assessment when this pandemic happened on us. So we're already considering the issue of the border opening and when it should be open, and what kind of requirements will be put in place for all the agencies that are responsible in managing the border to ensure in place. We have reached a level of reasonable understanding with our neighbors. They have shown clear commitment, comply with the MOUs that the protocols that we committed to, which they were abusing in the past. We have seen clear commitment that they have complied. We're going to maintain joint monitoring teams of the 3 countries, but the call of opening the border will be made by Mr. President after this is over, the report of the committee that he set up. I think finally, on the issue of the CSOs, the civil society organizations represent of the country, and it's very important to us that we get the inputs of the civil society from the planning to implementation, as well as in monitoring and evaluation. And in doing that, we have efforts to make sure that when we're preparing the medium-term plans, as well as the national budget, that we engage civil society organizations in this process, and also even in monitoring, we engage civil society organizations. Is it enough? No, not yet. We want to be able to do more to expand the consultations with civil society, and also to expand the involvement of civil society